everyone. I'm Nomfundo Madonsela.
I'm Themba Madonsela.
And we are members of a blended family sharing our journey.
Yes, sir.
In our
Yes,
previous video, yes, you better recognize. In our previous video, we spoke about things to consider
Before.
Yes, entering into a marriage. If you've not checked out that video, please be sure to
check
go
it
and
out.
check it out.
Yeah.
And then you can follow our storyline along.
Yep.
So today we are talking about when love runs dry.
So you guys are married now, and
It was nice.
It was nice,
It
right?
was glam.
Honeymoon
Yes.
is done.
Yes.
So you guys are living together.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, love runs dry.
And what do we mean by love runs dry?
What do you mean by that? Yeah.
What I mean by when love runs dry
Yeah.
is, now the real work begins.
Okay.
We've been through that fluffy phase. We've
Alright.
been through the, that era where we are trying to look like the together family.
I used to pick you up Koneni
Yeah.
or Kaigini, and you had makeup on, and you were like nice, like very nice. And now you wake up next to me, and bed breath and all, and now it's the real stuff.
Not only that.
Okay.
On top of that, there's a young girl or young boy that you've now fathered who doesn't even know how to knock.
Stepson.
Yeah, you're a stepson,
yeah.
stepdaughter.
Yeah.
He just bursts into the bedroom and doesn't knock. And you're like used to your child who knocks and has all of these amazing manners.
Now you start to pick up that your partner's discipline skills are not really or
Yes.
okay.
And then maybe you might also find a situation where your partner is very close to their stepchild, and now you're feeling like, this one, can you just give us some breathing space,
Yeah,
and you don't know the history that these two have gone through, because these people have maybe been through thick and thin together, and all they've known has been each other, and now all of a sudden there's a dad. There's a dad.
And look, I think this is a real life thing that happened to me. So resentment starts developing on the inside, and what I used to do, I found a gym as a place of escape, right? And I'll go there and sit there because I'm like competing with the sun. I feel as if I'm just like an intruder.
Yeah. So that's what we mean by when love runs dry. When things
real.
Now we have to merge finances, and then look, it's not make sure the balance, the equations are not balancing.
Okay.
What happens then?
Okay.
So we're just going to touch on 4 points again as normal.
All right.
And then let's just jump straight into them.
Okay.
Firstly,
Number 1.
Challenges are not there to destroy you. They are there to reveal areas where you can grow.
Oh, okay. So the mere fact that it becomes a challenge to you, and you beam it as a challenge, it means you haven't grown in that area. And now the challenge poses as like a place, a stepping stone for you to grow in that area.
100%.
Okay.
Collectively.
Okay.
So that would call for, we sit down, babe, we've got a problem.
I have resentment.
How do we deal with that? And going to the root cause of our problems to say, okay, what is the cause of your resentment? Okay, your resentment is caused by me always sitting and doing this and this with the child, as opposed to also making time for you. Look, I'll try and I'll make more time for you. And then we together can also make time to spend with the child. Then we are attacking this problem, and instead of being reactive, we are also then choosing to become proactive.
And I think the other thing is that we as we sort of blend in, we start revealing the true nature of who we really are. So how I grew up. So if I'm they call them adult children, right? If I'm an adult child and I'm starting to compete with a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old, it means I'm actually really, how can I, you are my wife. I mean, you are mine, right? But I'm competing for time with this child. So it's important that I sort of face the problem, learn from it, grow, and then it becomes a thing of the past.
So we tackle it, and let's not forget, we do this as a team. As a collective.
Okay.
Point number 2, remember your premarital counseling. Reflect, implement. Remember, doers do.
All right. So during your counseling with your counselor or your pastor, you were making notes, right? And you had conversations. At that time, you made a promise that this is how you want to go into the marriage. It's time to reflect now on what's happening and align it to what you were advised to do 100%. And see if you are standing on that line.
Implement. It doesn't help to have these amazing philosophies on how it is that we should grow and nurture relationships. We now have to do action. And unfortunately, it becomes a little bit difficult because the flesh will always try to push you from doing, because it wants to take over. But you need to learn to rise up, rise up above yourself and say, listen, for the sake of my family, I need to learn to do A. For the sake of my family, collectively, we need to do this.
So I think for me, reflection is about finding time to think. So don't be afraid to take time. I remember I used to go for a walk, put on my earphones, think about everything that we spoke about. Think about the books that we've read, the people we had conversations with around blended family. Think about this video, right? And think and say, all right, this is where I am. I need to apply this. Am I applying it? And you will be exposed if you're not applying it. So it's important to reflect. Take time to reflect. Take time to think.
Point number 3, don't compare yourselves with others. Don't rush your process.
Okay. All right.
So there I meant to say, Guti, maybe you can't go on holidays for now. Maybe we can't do certain things for now.
Okay.
But others who are in blended families, in nuclear families, maybe they can do those. But we're now rushing our process. We're not even considering our personal circumstances. And we are trying to live the end before we actually go from point number 1. That's what is meant by don't compare.
So you don't let your desire dictate your budget, right? You don't let your desire for an M2 or an M3 BMW detect your budget when you afford a smaller Nyana car, right? So you stay within your means and you ensure that you grow from there. You're honest. You become honest. I think this point we mentioned before, such a powerful point.
You are talking about it from a material
point of view.
I'm even talking about it from a point of view of saying, you see this couple B and they have this beautiful, thriving relationship with a stepchild, and you're now trying to push, relationships.
So you try to fake the relationship.
You push so that it seems as if you are there. When you're not there, there's still some work to do. You need to go and spend time with your stepchild. You need to say, listen, so when I do this, how does it make you feel? And you need to also learn to set boundaries, house rules and things for the stepchildren, for us to learn to function as a whole. So we can't look at others and say, oh, these ones are always are like this now we're trying to be that. No, we've got to work on ourselves.
Yeah, and then there's a point you are making, right? And I don't want to divert from point number 3. You can't build the relationship without being intentional on building the relationship. So you need to spend time with the stepson. You need to walk, you need to talk, you need to drive together to the shop, find out who he is. And then the more you do that, the more you're opening up the relationship into. The more that you won't be fighting for small little things like go to service this spoon or pushing a plate.
Why are you sleeping on our bed? Why?
Okay. So the more you become intentional, the more it becomes natural. But you don't compare yourself to other relationships. Focus on it. Learn from other people.
Yes,
learn,
100%.
And desire there, but don't compare yourself to them. Okay.
And the last one.
Don't rush to get there.
Don't rush to get there. Trust the process. The last one,
number 4.
Align to your role in the family, in the marriage, in the relationship. I am a mother.
So you keep learning.
I am a wife.
You keep learning.
What are the godly aspects of a wife?
Okay.
What is a wife supposed to do and be? How is a wife supposed to relate to her husband? What does God say, or who does God define as a wife?
Okay.
What God says I am to be, I choose to be and embody.
That's so true. So as a man, I need to daily learn. Learn from other males. I like to befriend because they always share with me the wisdom of life. They share with me traps that they've been caught in, and I can prevent those traps if I listen to them and I say, oh mkhulu should mangenza so so it's very important that you keep growing in your role if you are a man, keep growing and understand what manhood really is. And from a biblical point of view, I mean, we were just talking about Ephesians 22, Ephesians 5, there's 22 and 25. It says, 22 says, women submit to your husbands, and then 25 says, men love
your wives as Christ loved the church.
Yeah, so you need to grow in understanding how do you love someone, as a man. And if you're not learning,
how do you submit to someone?
How do you submit to someone?
And how do you submit when you are scared, or when you've I don't understand submission. I don't want to submit. How do you go about doing that? And you need to open yourself up to the idea of saying, okay, God, teach me. And teach me the godly submission, not the way that the world would define submission. Okay. I'm not a doormat, but I am under your guidance and your leadership. When it comes to my husband, what does that mean essentially?
Wow, powerful points. So defining things and understanding things according to how God defines, how God defines love. Love is kind, love is patient. So I'm supposed to be patient with you. I'm supposed to be kind with you. I'm not supposed to, okay, I hear you.
Point made, but nonetheless, those are the 4 points that we'd like to share with you this evening. Please, if you have anyone who would benefit from watching this video, please recommend our video.
Please place comments.
Yes, comments. And if you
I actually forgot that we're gonna.
Yes, we'd like to announce a giveaway pretty soon. So please invite your friends and like the content, subscribe to the page for more information on that giveaway. And with that said,
have a great evening.
Bye bye.